Pros and cons of living in Prescott. My wife and I have lived in Prescott since 2014, and this is what we've learned. This is part one. I'm going to talk about small town living and friendly people. Pro, small town living. The best thing about Prescott is that it's a small town. There are about 250,000 people living in the whole Quad Cities area. And that may not sound small, but the Phoenix metro area has almost 5 million people. So the lifestyle here is very different. Prescott is known as everybody's hometown. It's got a slower pace of life and a friendly, community-oriented feel. The first time I saw the courthouse square, I felt like I'd gone back in time. There's a reason that Hallmark movies, they always have the lead leaving the big city and going to the country to find happiness. I mean, that's just how life works. If you want to get away from the big city stress, come to Prescott for the small town vibe. Con, small town living. A negative thing about living in Prescott is that it's a small town. Choices have to be made to live here. You have to give up things to live here, like easy access to everything. You have to plan ahead for things. You can't decide to go buy ice cream at 2 a.m. in the morning and expect stores to be open. There are just fewer options here for things like shopping, eating out, entertainment, and jobs, plus a bunch more. I mean, you can get or do anything you want, but you might have to drive farther or wait for delivery to get it. Pro, friendly people. Another good thing about Prescott is that the people are friendly. People tend to look out for each other. I've always said when there's a foot of snow on the ground, we're all best friends. Now, there's always going to be a few idiots in every city, no matter where you are, but generally, people are nicer in a smaller town. Compared to a big city, we're just going to be nice to everybody here. Even the cops are friendly. Don't ask me how I know. Here's part two about location, day trips, and forest fires. Pro, the location. A great thing about Prescott is the location. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're surrounded by forests and mountains. There's easy access to hiking, kayaking, camping, fishing, and mountain biking. There are dirt roads and hiking trails everywhere. Because we're farther from other cities, there's places you can go to just get away from it all. We tend to be very rural here. We have abundant wildlife with deer, javelina, wild turkeys, coyotes, and you like birds? We have birds. There's natural beauty everywhere you go. Con, the location. A negative thing about Prescott is the location. We're not close to any other big cities. It takes 90 minutes to get to Phoenix. It's 2 hours to Flagstaff. Los Angeles is 7 hours. We do have an airport with daily flights to LA and Denver, but if you want any big city amenities, it's going to take you a while to get there. Pro, day trips. There are a lot of day trips worth taking. Jerome is the most obvious. It's an old mining town that's now filled with cool shops, good restaurants, and amazing views. Cottonwood is at the bottom of the hill. It was a dying old town. It's been rejuvenated into a collection of shops and some great wineries. Sedona, it's always impressive. The scenic Red Rock Cliffs are near some world-class restaurants. Beautiful Oak Creek is just up the road from there. Visit that in the fall to see the oaks change colors. Farther out, but worth the drive, are Payson, Ash Fork, Williams, the Grand Canyon, and Wickenburg. There are lots of places to go and things to do. Con, forest fires. We are surrounded by forests, and that means we have the threat of forest fires. Home insurance prices can be high because of that. Fires, they stay out of the cities, but some of us do live in the mountains. My wife and I have been evacuated twice in 12 years, but we've never lost anything. Pro, forest fires. We're very aware of the threat of forest fires, so there's an infrastructure and systems in place to handle it. LA has lost more homes to fires than Prescott ever has, and we have a whole forest to protect. Here's part three. We're going to talk about limited medical options, eating out options, shopping options, and the water crisis. Con, limited medical options. There are limited medical facilities because we're a small town. There's one large hospital in Prescott, the Yavapai Regional Medical Center. There's a VA hospital, and I've had clients move here specifically because there was a VA hospital here. And there's a smaller hospital in Prescott Valley. Some people have had difficulty finding a doctor they like. Of course, I've had that problem in the big city too. Some people drive to Phoenix for a specialist or for special procedures. Pro, medical options. The medical facilities that we do have, they're great. My wife and I have had the unfortunate opportunity to use the hospital in Prescott a couple of times. Both times, everything went really well. I have a friend that needed a knee replacement. He went to a local doctor instead of a specialist in Phoenix. Everything went great here. He went golfing the next day. Everybody's got their own experiences with the medical profession. I mean, it's a concern, but I think it can be solved. Con, eating out options. There are fewer restaurants to choose from, and there are good ones and some bad ones. I'm not going to name names or I'll be here all night. Fewer choices doesn't mean worse choices. It just means that you have to try harder to find what you like. Pro, eating out options. We do have some great places to eat. There are new places opening up all the time. We have our favorites and we eat out a lot. We've also found some great places in nearby towns. Jerome, Cottonwood, Sedona. Our favorite Mexican place, it's in Payson. The trick is to keep trying new places. You're going to find what you're looking for. Con, limited shopping options. Just like there are few options for eating out, shopping is also limited. We have 3 Walmarts and a Costco. There's a mall with a few shops in it, and there's a ton of smaller specialty shops. The basics, they're easy to find, but specific things might be harder to buy. We have enough stores to get by, but not as many as in a big city. Pro, shopping options. Amazon delivers. Con, the water crisis. While we're talking about limited resources, I made another video about the water crisis. Some people say that the water is running out, global warming and all of that. It's a controversial subject and it has some emotion behind it. Pro, the water crisis. According to the Department of Water Resources, we have an assured water supply for 100 years based on their requirements. Water expert Gary Woodard, who has been advising the city since 2018, he agrees. Politics and money might get in the way, but the water is physically there. Based on the comments I got on that other video, people are going to believe whatever they want to believe, regardless of the data. I'll show you my data if you show me yours. Look up prescotttruth.org and then get back to me. This next one could go either way for you, depending on your personal beliefs. Could be a pro or a con. It's politics. Our culture here is more conservative. According to the voter registration for Yavapai County, there are 92,000 Republican voters, compared to 52,000 Democrats and only 32,000 independents. That means there are more Republicans than Democrats and independents combined. A few years ago, every Tuesday, a vocal group of very liberal protesters, they started to demonstrate down on the corner of the courthouse square. Well, after a while, a vocal group of very conservative protesters, they started to demonstrate on the corner across from them. And now, if you drive by the courthouse square on a Tuesday at 1 p.m., you can honk for the corner of your choice. It's democracy in action. Another one that could go either way, pro or con, is guns. We like our guns here. I mean, it is Arizona. Guns are legal to carry in public here. I was talking with a friend recently who was born and raised in England before he moved here. And once he walked into a Walmart, he saw a guy with a .45 on his hip. Completely freaked him out. He's used to it by now. The legacy of Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp, they live on in Prescott, so brace yourself. Pro, less crime. Because of the small town culture, and maybe the guns, we don't have much crime here. Inside the city limits, Prescott is safer than 69% of American cities. Outside the city limits, it's even safer. Fewer people, fewer crimes. Crimegrade.org gives Yavapai County an A+ grade. We are the safest county in Arizona. How does that compare to Phoenix or LA? Part 5 is about weather, seasons, and snow. Pro, weather. We have weather here. There are 4 seasons. Actually, 5 if you count the monsoons. Because our elevation is above 5,000 feet, our climate is designated as high desert. That means that we have low humidity and our weather is always moderate. Typical temperature range here is 30 degrees to 87 degrees. Pro, seasons. January and February is winter with snow. I tell people that we get 3 to 5 snowstorms a year and they melt off within a day or two. Every 3 to 5 years we get the big one with a couple of feet of snow, and then everybody complains about the snow. I once had a cousin visit from Wisconsin in January and I'm like, why are you coming now? We've got a foot of snow on the ground. They said, well, we got 6 feet of snow back home. March, April, and May is spring with flowers. It's the best time of the year. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, and there's lots of sunshine. June is summer. It's warm. I like it. July is the warmest month of the year, but we get monsoons then. I've seen the weather be hot and sunny and then drop 30 degrees in an hour and start to rain and hail. August and September, well, they're the second spring. After all the monsoons, the flowers bloom again. It's also the best time of year. October, November, and December, they're fall. The leaves turn color. The days are shorter and cold. Everything is dark and dreary. I'm not a fan, but if you like pumpkin spice, Halloween, and Thanksgiving, this is your time of year. They close off Mount Vernon Street for Halloween and thousands of little monsters run wild. Christmas is a big deal in Prescott. Prescott is known as Arizona's Christmas City. There's a courthouse tree lighting. Acker Night is when all the shops downtown, they stay open late and they have live music in each one of them with food and drinks for everybody. Overall, we have mild weather. It's never too hot, it's never too cold. Con, snow. The worst thing about our weather is it snows, and I hate the snow. This is my favorite, part 6, fun and relaxing. Pro, it's fun here. The mountains that surround us are filled with things to do, places to go. There are miles of dirt roads and old mining claims to explore. If you enjoy hiking, biking, or horseback riding, there are plenty of places to do those things in Prescott. There's nothing like a quiet walk in the woods or driving down a dirt road in my truck. The Peavine Trail was built next to Watson Lake on the remnants of the old railway, which operated from 1893 until they removed the tracks in 1984. Today, it's a great place for walking, biking, or horseback riding. For the adventurous, the Prescott Circle Trail is a 54-mile-long, non-motorized circle trail around the outside of Prescott. For those of you who enjoy the sophisticated comforts of sitting and driving, like me, there are too many scenic drives to list. From Senator Highway, which is a dirt road by the way, to Thumb Butte Road, Iron Springs Road, Walker Road, all of these places are beautiful. All these places are worth visiting, and there's more than that. We have 8 18-hole golf courses here, if that's what you're looking for. And there's something happening every weekend on the Courthouse Square all summer long. There's a reason that we're a tourist destination. It's just fun to live in Prescott. Pro, it's relaxing here. Prescott is less stressful than a big city. It's easier to relax here. It's got a slower pace of life. There's a huge difference between a small town and a big city. Growing up in LA, I had no idea that this kind of lifestyle even existed. Every time we drove here from LA, my wife would involuntarily exhale and relax her clenched fists as we crossed the Colorado River. We were away from the big city stress. Part 7 is about history, types of homes, and traffic. Pro, history. There is a lot of history in Prescott. John Rutherford Walker found gold in Lynx Creek in 1863. That set off a gold rush in 1864 and the birth of Prescott. And what else was happening in 1864? Well, President Lincoln needed gold to pay for the Civil War, so boom, we became a territory. Prescott boomed as a frontier mining town. Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp, they're not just legends, but they're real people who who really walked the streets here. We are proud of Whiskey Row and the Courthouse Square and all the history that represents. If you know where to go out in the mountains, there's still remnants of mines out there. On the property my wife and I own and live on, there's a mine dug by miners over 100 years ago. There's more history than I can list in this short video, so you'll have to go explore yourself. Pros, types of homes. You might think that all the homes that are for sale in Prescott are old Victorians like you see downtown. But the truth is, we have a huge variety of homes to choose from with different price points, styles, sizes, ages, and lot sizes. There's everything from modern suburban style homes to multi-million-dollar mansions to ranches to mountain cabins. Because the town is so old, there's been a lot of different styles of homes built over the years, so you can find anything you want here. Con, traffic. People complain about the traffic, and I guess the traffic has gotten worse over the last few years as more people move here. I mean, Prescott's a great place to live, so people choose to live here. And people have to drive, so yes, traffic is getting worse. But I was born and raised in LA. Nothing will ever compare to the 405 on a Friday night at 5 p.m. So I think traffic here is fine. I think it's all a matter of perspective. Part A is probably the most negative. We're going to talk about jobs and cost of living. Con, jobs. There are fewer jobs here. We don't have a huge manufacturing base. The job market is growing as the population grows, but it's going to be more difficult to find a job here than it is in a big city. Where can you get a job? Healthcare is a dominant industry here, and it's growing the fastest. Education is key here with multiple colleges. Tourism and hospitality. There will always be a thriving job market because of the history of the area and the beautiful surroundings. I mean, people love to visit Prescott. Retail is an option if you want to work at Walmart or Costco. Construction is growing. I can't find good workers for personal projects because all the new housing development is sucking them up. And of course, retirement's always a good option. Con, cost of living. It is more expensive to live here because it's so desirable. I mean, everybody wants to live here. My research found that Yavapai County has either a 23% or a 10% or a 14% higher cost of living than average for the entire USA, depending on who you ask. Food, healthcare, and utilities, they're 10 to 14% cheaper than the national average. But housing costs, they're the largest part of our high cost of living. Our housing is 70% more expensive than the US average. It's 40% more expensive than the Arizona average. If housing cost is a concern, it tends to be cheaper to live farther out of town where houses are less expensive. You get what you pay for. I have no regrets about moving to Prescott. Making those choices is the best thing we ever did. And if you want to do the best thing that you'll ever do, give me a call. My contact info, it's right there.